about 50 billion naira. Now, why are you not using the mechanism in place to know who is taking fuel to where? Secondly, you are told that 400,000 barrels of fuel, oil, crude oil, are stolen daily in Nigeria. Oh yeah, that's what the government is. Because this is why you must listen. This is why we must listen to ourselves. Now, that again is not possible. Nigeria is the only producing country that has refused to install a meter to know how much oil is produced daily.
In the last 6 months of 2021, on the average, ruling class economists, anthropologists kept telling us that close to 50 million liters of PMS, petrol, was being smuggled across our borders on a daily basis. Now, let us tell you why this figure is a complete lie. Now, 50 million liters of fuel will require 1,600 fuel tankers with a capacity of 33,000 liters. That means the biggest tankers, the long ones, not the small ones. It will require each 1,600 each to transport across our borders on a daily basis, 50 million liters. What this means is that you need 1,600 trucks to cross the border and come back into Nigeria every day. That's 2 trips. 2 trips a day to go, come back, so that they can go back tomorrow again and on a daily basis. And so we ask ourselves, tankers are not needles. Tankers are not spirits. They are not. So how can 1,600 tankers cross our borders?
Quantity of fuel consumed in Nigeria is 68 million liters per day. That was a reaction to the statement by the Comptroller General of Customs last week that saw the lie. Let me start by saying this. In February 2020, the Directorate of Petroleum Resources, DPR, disclosed to the whole world that the consumption rate, daily consumption rate of fuel in Nigeria was 38.2 million liters. 38.2 million liters. And that is the body in charge, that had the information. Barely 15 months later, NNPC came out to say the figure had ballooned to 102 million liters per day. Please listen to me. From 38 million to 102 million. About 2 months later, June 2021, the government was embarrassed. And President Buhari, as Minister of Petroleum Resources, the president is also the minister. He ordered, listen to me, the president ordered the NNPC reduce the figure from 102 to 60 million liters. So, and that was done. But a few months later, Mr. Mele Kyari, GMD of NNPC, came out to say that about 40 million liters were being smuggled out of Nigeria daily. Please. Last week, the Comptroller General of Customs, Kwame Amidali, retired, came out publicly and in a very scientific manner to say that NNPC was deceiving Nigerians. And he asked the NNPC, if you say we are consuming 60 million liters, why are you releasing 98 million liters every day? That means 38 million liters are being smuggled out daily. Where are the tankers conveying them? Where are they taking them to daily? NNPC now said this morning, it's no longer it is now 68 million liters per day. We say with profound respect, in the first place, there is a shame that ours is the only oil-producing country in the world that imports fuel and other petroleum products. Number two, and we want to say this publicly, that the NNPC had acquired a software 7 years ago to monitor and track every tanker loading fuel in Nigeria. And that software, that system was installed with about 50 billion naira. Now, why are you not using the mechanism in place to know who is taking fuel to where? Secondly, you are told that 400,000 barrels of fuel, oil, crude oil, are stolen daily in Nigeria. Oh yeah, that's what the government is. Because this is why you must listen. This is why we must listen to ourselves. Now, that again is not possible. Nigeria is the only producing country that has refused to install a meter to know how much oil is produced daily. The machinery, the technology exists to know how much oil the country produces daily. The government of smugglers, the government of oil thieves has refused to install the necessary technology. The last one, you are told now that pipelines or pipeline contracts are being awarded at colossal sums of money. Again, this is very barbaric. To go and get a contractor in town to come and be monitoring pipelines for you. There is a company on kilometer 40 Lagos Ibadan Road that has the technology to monitor oil pipelines in Nigeria. Again, the government has refused to acquire the technology. Why they do this? Why the government has refused to be modern is this. If they install the technology, there won't be stealing. That's all. So we are saying here today that the NNPC must disclose to Nigerians why the software acquired 7 years ago has been disabled by the government, so that tankers, so-called, can take out fuel. Fuel is taken out by tankers, not by Okada. So you will need at least 2,000 tankers to take out the quantity of fuel that they are saying is smuggled out of the country. And that is not possible. The other one, please, and this is the last point. We are also challenging the government to install the machine, the meter, it's a meter, that allows the government to know how much quantity of fuel that is produced daily. And then the fuel is monitored, the crude oil is monitored wherever you are going to. There is an international shipping company called Lloyd's. Every ship that takes fuel from anywhere in the world is monitored. Our fuel, the way our oil is stolen in this, at the point of taking out the oil, listen to this, just like you are not just a pack, the ship is loaded. Then they say, how much oil is there? The criminal taking out the fuel will say 50,000 liters. They will then collect money, just like Admiral. In 3 years, between January 2011 and December year, in 2002 budget, 443 billion naira was voted for fuel subsidy. But by June, July, they increased it to 4 trillion. Your National Assembly people, and that's why we should stop making an example. Your National Assembly people, including the people from Lagos, all of them, 24, please listen, 24 members of House of Rep are from Lagos. 3 senators, but we are not asking questions. Without a debate, they increased 443 billion to 4 trillion. Very soon, listen, very soon, they want to increase it to 6.5 trillion this year. So when we live here, we must be sensible. In each of our constituency, you must invite your House of Rep member and your senator. Please, why are you carrying out this fraud in Abuja?
Now, a lot of things are there floating around from government sources, from neoliberal sources. We know that as we speak today, the IMF continues to pile pressure, the IMF and the World Bank continues to pile pressure on our government to remove subsidy, to devalue the Naira, and so on and so forth. And so, our observations include our countering arguments to the arguments that are being made by these elements. As Nigerians, and should further underline the fact that our ruling class is very shameless, is that Nigeria is the only member of OPEC. Mind you, a Nigerian will be stepping down, has been the General Secretary of OPEC for the past 8 years, will be stepping down in June of this year, okay, after completing his 2 terms. But Nigeria is the only member of OPEC country that imports more than 90 to 95% of refined petroleum products to meet our domestic needs and consumption. In other OPEC countries, the reverse is the case. All other OPEC countries meet their domestic requirements through domestic refining capacity, through their own domestic refineries, and then they export. We are the only country that our refineries have been, we have 4 refineries that have not been able to refine any product in the last 6 years. People are working, managements are there, and money is being spent. Another reason given by the regime and all previous regimes is the narrative around the price of fuel being much cheaper in Nigeria than in our neighboring countries in West Africa. And so they said that because of the subsidy that they have put there, the price is cheaper in Nigeria, and because it's cheaper in Nigeria, it encourages smuggling to other countries. We are going to show you now how fallacious that statement is. So let us examine this fallacious claim. Today, currently, the figures have been bandied around that Nigeria consumes between 54 million liters per day and 90 million liters per day. Sometimes the figure between what they say we consume and what is imported is also extremely very different. Now, in the last 6 months, of 2021, on the average, ruling class economists, anthropologists kept telling us that close to 50 million liters of PMS, petrol, was being smuggled across our borders on a daily basis. Now, let us tell you why this figure is a complete lie. Now, 50 million liters of fuel will require 1,600 fuel tankers with a capacity of 33,000 liters. That means the biggest tankers, the long ones, not the small ones. It will require each 1,600 each to transport across our borders on a daily basis, 50 million liters. What this means is that you need 1,600 trucks to cross the border and come back into Nigeria every day. That's 2 trips. 2 trips a day to go, come back, so that they can go back tomorrow again on a daily basis. And so we ask ourselves, tankers are not needles. Tankers are not spirits. They are not. I mean, so how can 1,600 tankers cross our borders? Even if we have a 1,600 kilometer border line, even if each one is positioned and they cross from each 1 kilometer apart, how can a country, how can a ruling class actually justify the fact that 1,600 tankers cross its border every day, 2 trips every day? This requires a driver, Abi, at least one loader. That is 3,200 persons are involved in this trade. Just there. What about security? What about? So I mean, it's simply a fallacious argument. It is either it is not true, or that the Nigerian state is complicit in the smuggling, and that the Nigerian state is actually providing protection for the smuggling. It's either of those two. It cannot be anything else. When in January 2012, the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan regime unconscionably hiked fuel prices in the name of removing fuel subsidy, there was a justifiable mass outrage, and it precipitated the January uprising of 2012, also known as Occupy Nigeria. Recall that the exact same reasons given by the Goodluck Jonathan regime are the same reasons that this current regime is also giving. So they are saying our refineries are moribund. Jonathan said that 10 years ago, our refineries are moribund. Buhari is saying it 10 years after, our refineries are moribund. Okay? In 2012, Labour and civil society made demands. We put on the table, we said, look, how long does it take to build refineries, and how much does it cost? We agreed then that it will cost between $1.5 billion and $2 billion to build a refinery with a capacity of about 400,000 barrels per day. They said it will take 2 years. This is how many years? 10 years. Neither the 4 refineries that were moribund in 2012 are now bound in 2022, nor have new refineries been built since then. So the problem is really simple. For as long as we don't have domestic refining capacity, as long as we continue to import, as long as our currency continues to be floated against the dollar, for so long shall we continue to have a differential between the landing cost and the pump price. Otherwise, what you are saying is that you are saying market forces should determine the pump price, which means that on a weekly basis you are going to be having 10, 20, 30 naira difference increase in the price of fuel per liter. No responsible